three-year-old Muhammad, who's this big, it weighs like 25 pounds, caused all these marks. He has a lot of injuries. Not just one. He has many dozens of injuries.
Over 100 wounds, a shattered skull, torn skin, and deep rope marks. 4-year-old Musiah Wadud suffered it all inside the very home where he and his 3-year-old brother, Mohammed Wadud, endured relentless torture. While Mohammed somehow survived the torment, Musiah lost his innocent life. The man now hearing these horrific details is the children's supposed protector and their mother's boyfriend. Detectives believe he and the children's mother were not their guardians at all. They were their tormentors. But who is responsible for Musiah's death? The investigation will reveal dark secrets that led to this vile crime.
So the 2 adults in the household watching the 2 children for 8 months mysteriously incurs dozens, if not hundreds, of wounds, and no one has any explanation as to how that happened.
On May 5, 2022, police in Euclid, Ohio, responded to a 911 call about an unresponsive 4-year-old, Musiah Wadud, inside an apartment on East 260th Street. After days of eerie silence, officers discovered a horrifying scene. Musiah's shirtless body bore more than 100 injuries. His 3-year-old brother, Mohammed Wadud, was severely emaciated and covered in welts, while 2 other children in the home were also malnourished. The condition of all 4 children revealed a pattern of prolonged trauma. Detectives soon arrested Musiah's aunt, Dyneshia Anderson, and her boyfriend, Devin Hall, and the interrogation that followed would expose the full horror inside that home.
So we've established, and I asked Dyneshia this, you're welcome to, everything you guys say, you're welcome to check with her, okay? I asked Dyneshia this, and I said, okay, so who does the physical disciplining in the household? And she said, you did not discipline the boys physically. Is that true?
Right.
Okay. How about the girls? Did you physically discipline them?
I'm gone. Like I said, my daughter lied to me, a little bit lied. You shouldn't have did that. I'm gone. It's my kid.
Okay. So, all right. So are you aware that I had some serious injuries?
From what they said,
Who's they?
the 1990 news, I read the report.
Okay. All right. Well, I want you to forget what you see in the news.
Okay.
Forget what Dynesia's family or anybody else is screaming at you.
Okay.
So I will tell you, all right, the nature of the injuries, okay, and then we'll talk about those. Okay. So I want you to completely put out of your mind any of the stuff that you have. I don't want you to come at this with any preconceived ideas.
Okay.
Is that fair? Okay. So let's begin. So had a skull fracture. Okay. Do you have any idea how that skull fracture might have happened?
Falling off the stairs.
Okay. Were you there to witness him falling on the stairs?
No.
All right. So how did you learn about him falling down the stairs?
When I got to the house.
Okay. Who told you?
She told me I fell downstairs.
Okay, so I didn't tell you that, right? Dyneshia told you, right? Okay. So again, I'm just trying to be fair with you. I'm not the source of this information, right? Okay. And you're welcome to talk to her about all that. So he has a skull fracture. You were told he incurred that head injury falling down the stairs.
Correct.
All right. And Dyneshia gave you that explanation.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Did she tell you anything else about his injuries?
Not to my knowledge. I don't really remember everything, man.
All right. I'm not asking you to have perfect memory. God knows I don't. So I wouldn't hold you to a different standard. So back to injuries, okay? He has a lot of injuries. Not just one. He has many dozens of injuries. So he also has bleeding on his brain, a subdural hematoma. So your brain inside your skull has a covering, right? It's the dura. And when blood is collecting inside there, it can put pressure on the brain. It's usually a sign of a significant trauma to the head. And he has bleeding in the brain. Do you have any idea how that could have happened?
Boy being the boy, man.
Okay. Can you explain what you
Falling off the hoverboard.
could have fallen off the hoverboard? All right.
Musiah's aunt, Dyneshia, immediately blamed Devin for everything that happened to the child, claiming she had no idea what Musiah was going through. Devin responded with an excuse that defied logic. However, even before he spoke, Dyneshia had already made admissions that exposed her own role in the torment. She was not the witness to the torment. Musiah's grandmother, Musiah Wadud, was, and she is about to reveal some shocking details about this estranged couple.
Was your daughter, Dyneshia, was she married to Devin?
No.
Were they living together as man and wife?
Yeah.
Did they have children together?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she let him play the man role. That's how she was. Whatever he say goes.
So they were living together for a period of time. They had children together.
Yeah.
Right. So they're essentially living together like a married couple.
Yeah.
And they are biological parents to the kids living in the household, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Dyneshia is equally culpable. She's equally responsible for what's going on in her
That's
household.
right. That's right.
You agree?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's there every day. You aren't.
Yeah.
And she's there witnessing what's happening every day, right?
Yeah.
She's an adult. She can make her own decisions and decide how to conduct her own affairs, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And they was like Bonnie and Clyde. You couldn't pull them apart. Him and her. It was just like this. No matter what. He cut his family loose. She cut her family loose. They was like didn't go nowhere to doubt each other.
Bonnie and Clyde were criminals, right?
Yes, but that's how they was.
All right. So, was there any other incident that you actually witnessed that you personally saw?
No.
Okay. So, the fact is that we could only use your testimony, right, if you actually witnessed something, right? Now, your conversations with your daughter that you think were suspicious or heated, even an argument, right? That might be interesting, and maybe the prosecutor will want to talk to you at some point. But right, what's more valuable to the investigation is if you actually observed something. You said you saw Devin Hall kick at one point, okay, but you didn't choose to do anything about it. You didn't call the police or contact children's services or inquire any further. Did you follow up and see if he was okay? Did you ask your daughter, the next day? Did you call and say, hey, is okay, I saw Devin strike him?
Yeah. She let me talk to him once or twice after that.
The child? You talked to the child?
I talked to my daughter. She said he was running around, playing, but I never talked to him.
I thought you said she let me talk to him.
No, I really don't remember, sir, but I ain't gonna lie to you. It's been so long.
Okay.
But I had to sit here and think about it.
Did you ever talk to directly? Like on the phone,
No.
FaceTime, anything like that? No?
But when I talked to her on FaceTime, she had ran to the phone and said, hi, Grandma, over the,
Who's she?
when my daughter was holding the phone up, she did let me come to the phone and say hi.
Okay. How did he look?
He looked like he was just running around playing.
He looked okay.
Yes, because I wouldn't be in jail for murder if I knew them child my grandson. I didn't see no abuse. But I saw the way he did kick him, but that was, I didn't really think like it was abuse. Like, that is what eat me up right now. I was out of here.
Latrice clearly witnessed the horrors inside that Euclid household, where Dyneshia Anderson and Devin Hall, self-styled Bonnie and Clyde duo, turned 4-year-old Musiah into a broken shell through 8 months of relentless torture. But how and why? Detectives now ruthlessly question Devin, confronting him with the harsh reality checks that begin to bring clarity to this agonizing case.
So, do you have any thoughts about how those injuries could have occurred?
No.
Okay. He's got bruises on his legs. Oh, also, the boy's very skinny. He appears to be malnourished. Any thoughts
He
about
changed
that?
was like that.
I remember you said that. And to that point, also, Dyneshia said the same thing. Dyneshia also said, and I don't know if you were aware of this or not, she claimed that both the boys were born premature. Were you aware of that? Okay. That's fine. But during our interview, I asked you, did the boys appear to be putting on weight? You know, that kind of thing. Were they skinnier than this when they arrived at your household?
Like I told you, I don't know the weight when they arrived. I don't know the weight they got.
But you can see with your eyes. Did it look like they were fattening up? Did it look like they were fattening up?
They were eating their food, sir.
Okay, but that's
if they not gaining weight, what can I do about that besides feeding?
Take them to the doctor, see what's wrong, right?
Okay.
But seriously though, right? If you got a kid who's failing to thrive, right? What if your girls, they look perfectly healthy to me. They look fine.
They ate their food.
Okay, but they look fine, right? No reason to be concerned.
Right.
Exactly. These kids do not look fine, not to the casual observer. So if there's, who knows what could be wrong with these kids, right? Maybe take them to the doctor and see if there's a medical reason.
That's our reason why we didn't take them to the doctor. That's not it.
But as a guardian of the kids, it is your responsibility.
Correct.
To care for the kids, to include their medical condition.
Correct.
All right. So, all right. So he's got these marks on both arms. Do you have any explanation or any theory about how these marks might have occurred?
No.
Okay. He's got a number of pattern marks on his body, right? By that I mean there's some areas where this appears to be a scar. There's some small indentations. This appears to be maybe a discoloration. I'm not really sure what that is. This isn't the best focused photo either, but do you have any idea how any of these marks might have occurred?
He boy.
Other than being a boy.
One or two things, man.
Well, I mean,
like with his brother.
He wasn't born with these marks, so they occurred at some point. So do you know how any of these marks might have occurred?
Fighting with his brother.
The 3-year-old who's this big, it weighs like 25 pounds, caused all these marks? How about the lacerated liver? Did do that? I'm serious.
Lacerated liver.
Remember we discussed that?
That dude falls, jumps, plays like a boy, man.
So, medical examiner told me that the lacerated liver, just as an example, I'm just taking one thing out of hundreds, was not caused by a fall. So it was not caused by a fall. So we can set that theory aside. It was not caused by a fall.
So what are you all trying to say that we...
Well, this pattern is either some kind of systematic force used on this child. Now, like I've asked you to explain, right? How can this extent of injuries occur in a period of, he's been in your household for 8 months, right? Mm-hmm. Do these injuries appear on either of your daughters?
Obviously not.
Okay, they don't, right? So they appear on this kid. So why? He's in your household for 8 months, right? So what's happening to this kid in your household that's not happening to everybody else?
It is happening to everybody else.
Well, the girls aren't marked up like this. Girls don't have a lacerated liver or skull fracture, not to my knowledge, right? So it's happened specifically to this little boy.
He got marks on him too.
He sure does.
He don't have a skull fracture.
You sure?
Are you gonna tell me he got one, or
he doesn't have one? No, he doesn't have one.
So what are
we haven't checked out? He's got a bunch of bruises, scratches, abrasions. He's got some pretty serious bags under his eyes that look like they might be swelling from a blow. He's also extremely malnourished and dehydrated. He had to be taken to the hospital because he's been so poorly cared for and neglected.
Musiah wasn't alone in the torture. His younger brother, Musiah Wadud, endured the same horrors, found emaciated and covered in welts and bruises when police arrived at the crime scene. Both victims of Anderson and Hall's 8-month reign inside the Euclid apartment, and this was only the tip of the iceberg. Detective Pat Brooks is about to launch a barrage of unanswerable questions at Devin. He has committed something so vile that there is now no mercy under the law.
Essentially stated that she spanked this child twice, to your knowledge, right? At least that's what she's told you. Okay. Neither of which did you witness those two things? Did you put eyes on those things? So in other words, you only have an explanation for that, right?
Right.
Okay. And you say these injuries were not created by yourself.
Absolutely.
So how were these injuries created then?
I don't know. You said, couldn't tell you boy in the blood.
Okay. And again, that explanation simply does not suffice to explain the severity of these injuries, nor the number of these injuries, nor their complexity. Okay. Or frankly, their age. According to the coroner's office, this child had over 100 marks on his body in various stages of healing. How do you explain that? 100 marks. That's a lot on a little body. He's like, I don't know, 3.5, 4 feet tall.
Hey man, that's how they be real bad people. All this money to news.
I mean, I wouldn't worry about the news at this point if I were you, honestly. I mean,
don't worry about the judge, my life.
Well, I mean, first I'd say, are you familiar with the WIN principle? You ever heard that? W-I-N. It means what's important now. What's important now. Okay. Right now, if I were to apply the WIN principle, if I were you, I'd be worried about what you and I are talking about. You can let the news take care of itself. They're going to say what they want to say anyway. What do they say about the police every day? They say all kinds of stuff about the police, don't they? Most of it's not true. They say it. They're going to say all kinds of stuff. I wouldn't worry about what's going to happen in court right now, because what's important now? You're here in this room with me, facing a decision.
Everything I say is going to go against me.
Well, here. Try me. Try me.
Are we going to spend the rest of our life in jail?
I can't guarantee any outcome of this. You understand? I haven't even gotten to the point where I can actually legitimately go in front of a judge and explain what's happened here. So right now, you've left me with as many questions as I had at the beginning of our interview. So I can't honestly answer that question. That's unfair for you to ask me that.
What do you think happened?
What do I think happened? I think this child was assaulted a lot. A lot. I think he was struck a lot by somebody who's very strong.
So you're saying I did it?
Who else could have done it? Do you think Dyneshia did it? Are you saying Dyneshia did this? I don't think you are saying that. Now, here's what I do think. I looked at your criminal record, okay? You had some trouble.
I ain't no damn kids.
No, I know. You had a domestic violence case, though, right?
That was...
I know. It was a while ago, right? Okay. I'm not holding it against you. Mm-hmm. Okay. But things happen, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I have no knowledge of that incident because I didn't investigate it. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm being fair. So I'm just looking at it on paper and making a judgment. Right?
So the judge don't.
But I'm telling you, right, that there are questions that must be answered, one way or another. That's all. That's just realistic. You're a realistic man. All right. So, like I said, I've lost my temper. Have you ever lost your temper, Doug?
All the time.
Okay. So, listen, have you ever had trouble controlling your temper or controlling your anger or controlling your emotions? Okay. These are understandable and explainable reactions. Right? Of course. Okay. So, if you were to say, yeah, I lose my temper all the time, I could say, I understand that I've lost my temper before. Right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever done something you regret, Devin?
Yes.
Me too. Again, that's a realistic answer. Okay. Let me ask you a question that you don't even have to answer, okay? Like, if God is your judge, who will fate treat more kindly? Someone who tells the truth, right? Mm-hmm. Someone who lies, someone who takes responsibility for what they do and say, or someone who avoids it. You don't even have to answer that, all right? I know you as a man, you know what I'm talking about. I think it goes without saying. Also, as a realist, that there are questions that must be answered, right? How am I supposed to know what you know unless I ask you to, right? I can't read your mind.
Man, the moment I say one of us whooped that kid or did anything, I'm like, so sorry, you already going to jail. So all I'm looking for is to say who whooped him so they can go to jail. So
That's
they
not
can
true.
homicide.
No, that's not true. What I want to do is I want to get an explanation. Now, if the explanation, right, is a plausible one, okay, like I said, I will document it. I promise you, I will document it. All right, I promise you.
What possible explanation could Devin even give? In his eyes, he and Dyneshia were a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde, caught in the rage of youth, living life to the fullest while letting a child waste away, as if their only responsibility was to bring him into the world, then behave so recklessly that they denied him the right to be a child, even taking food away from him. These people showed no humanity whatsoever, but at the very least, Latrice could have saved her grandson. Detectives will ask her the same questions next.
Well, to your knowledge.
No.
No.
She ain't nobody see her.
She, being Dyneshia, wouldn't let anyone
See her.
visit the children.
No. Not even their dad. Their dad in prison. She even stopped him from talking to him over the phone. Nobody expected it.
That caused you some concern? And she
I
was
mean,
allowing you to
nobody
leave the house?
expected. We just thinking she gonna say they gonna have a good life. They ain't gonna be around drugs and alcohol. I'm gonna make sure I raise them right. You know, that's what she was saying.
What about your relationship with Devin Hall? What was that like?
I thought he was a good son-in-law. I really did. I used to buy him clothes, get his hair cut, everything. I thought he was a good son-in-law.
How about his qualities as a parent? Did you ever observe him interacting with children?
Yeah, I never saw no abuse or nothing.
Okay. How about his emotional state? Was he patient, kind, gentle?
Yes.
He was.
Yeah.
You never saw him lose his temper?
No.
Did you ever argue with Dyneshia?
All the time.
Okay, tell me about your knowledge of that. How often would they argue? And about what?
They argue about petty stuff. He go to the store and get the wrong thing or something. Or if she got him keep doing something, you know, and he's tired. That's the only thing I saw them. They may argue about something he didn't do that she asked him to do.
You said that 3 days before your grandson died, that you contacted Children and Family Services. In what form did you contact them? You called them? Did you?
I went down there.
You physically went there?
Yes. The lady made a report, wrote it down, but she said,
Do you know who you spoke to?
no, but I got the name of the lady that she gave me the call, the social worker that was the last lady on their case to go do a wellness check. And I did call her, leave her a voicemail, she never called me back.
So you went to Children and Family Services. Where is that located?
On 40th and Euclid.
Okay.
And she said she was going to put it in the system that I did come down there with concerns.
Okay.
Oh. But I would never do anything to hurt my grandkid. I'm a good grandmother. I love my grandkid.
When you made this report, you spoke directly to an intake person. Do you remember specifically what you told them as far as why you were concerned?
I did tell her because she not letting nobody in the family see him. And we just want to know to make sure they all right, see if they happy there. Because she won't let nobody else in the family see him. And I told her that she sent the court papers back out of power of visitation.
Did you say anything about the knot on his head or having seen him get kicked or... thrown into the car. Okay. So your complaint was basically that she was denying visitation.
Well, I know definitely I said that, but yes.
Latrice Wadud had chances to save Musiah, yet filed only a single complaint, one that focused on Dyneshia Anderson denying her visitation with the grandchildren. By this point, Dyneshia had already offered multiple blame-shifting statements. Still, detectives gave her one final opportunity to come clean, prompting a numb and unsettling reaction of denial despite the overwhelming evidence.
Do you understand that this is your opportunity to make a statement? And that this is the opportunity that you have to explain to me your version of the event, right? And to tell me whatever you want to tell me right now, however you want to tell me, on whatever circumstances you want, right? You could even tell me, hey, I don't want to answer any of your questions, but I just want to explain myself. Or you could answer some of my questions and not others. Or you could answer one of my questions and not the rest of them. Or you can pick and choose, right? But this is your opportunity to make that statement. You don't want to do that?
No.
Okay. Do you understand what you're being charged with?
Yeah, I've seen it all over the news.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I had nothing to do with that. And in fact, let me apologize. You police department had nothing to do with that. Right? We did not release that to the media, nor did we sanction that. That was done entirely without my knowledge. That had nothing to do with our department. Not whatsoever. So I'm very sorry that happened. But like I said, I was just as surprised probably as you are, maybe more surprised, that was not our doing. We didn't do that. I swear. So you can choose to believe me or not, but I certainly wouldn't have approved of that. Okay? You didn't hear that stuff from me. Do you have any questions for me? You can ask me whatever you want. Don't forget your pop, Tim. I mean, pressure's off. If you want to ask me something, you can ask me whatever you want. And I'll do the best I can to answer it. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know. All right, is that fair?
I don't have nothing to say. Detective Cheddar.
Okay.
Cheddar.
Don't worry about it. I'm not insulted.
I do want you to know I was turning myself in once I found out, though. We was headed this way, and we got pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to the lieutenant and everything. He told me, and I told him I'd be here 45. My brother-in-law was coming to get us.
I know. I was in the office when the lieutenant took your call. I understand.
I wasn't running.
I understand. I didn't accuse you of that. I don't think the lieutenant did either, We did not accuse you of that.
You know what I'm going to say. So, thanks for the coke.
Hey, no problem, because, it wasn't mine. It came from the Warren unit's fridge, so
yeah.
Don't worry, I'll make sure that they hear that you said thank you. You can finish it, might as well.
Dyneshia chose silence, stonewalling detectives on every question, but the evidence was ample. The 911 call reporting Musiah unresponsive, his emaciated brother Muhammad having found with visible welts inside the apartment, jail phone calls in which Dyneshia coached Devin to take full responsibility, Dynesia's absurd claim of spankings, and his denial of living there, Latrice Wadud's visitation complaint, and custody records dating back to October 2021. All of this was more than enough to bring this couple to justice, and that is exactly what will happen now. In October 2024, Dyneshia Anderson pleaded guilty to aggravated murder, felonious assault, and child endangerment and was sentenced to life without parole. Devin Hall pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and child endangerment, receiving a sentence of 20.5 years on October 22nd. The duo's self-styled Bonnie and Clyde dream now sits sealed behind prison walls.